Okay, we have a variety of pulling exercises that we're going to do this week. The first one being a barbell bent over row. So, of course, just starting with the barbell, take it off the rack and then making sure you're in that same good hip hinge position, kind of an RDL position. I like an underhand grip and you can row to your belly button. Go ahead and try an overhand grip as well, but make sure you're rowing down to your belly button and staying down. The next one's going to be a dumbbell bent over row, and there's a few variations that we can try with this one. The first being just a neutral stance dumbbell row. I like putting my hand on the low back because I think it cues your back to stay kind of down but core tight and keeping everything nice and stable. You can also stagger your feet to an alternate kind of stance, or you can do a single arm dumbbell row supported. So putting your hand on a box or a bench, still making sure your core is tight, back's nice and flat, and again, you're rowing more closer to your hip and not shrugging up high. The other thing we want to try is a 3D band row and a seated row. So you're going to start with just a red band. You can do a stagger stance or a neutral stance. But again, I think the biggest thing with rows is make sure you're thinking you're pulling down and not just shrugging up with your traps, and that you're pulling down and activating kind of lower trap, lats, and those things. So you're going to do a high to low row single arm. You can do a neutral row like the one right now, and then you can also put it down a little bit lower to be more of a low to high row. I like kind of hitting a little bit of everything. This one you will be shrugging up a little bit more, but not too much. Again, keeping core tight. You can stagger or do a neutral stance, and then you also can try a seated row with the band. Make sure you're nice and tall. Sit up on your ischial tuberosity, nice and tall, squeezing your shoulder blades together. You can also try tons of stuff on the cable.